In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace a rear sway bar link on a RAV4 located in the rear suspension. Now with a 14mm socket, I'm going to take the bottom mounting nut of that sway bar link off. So I'm going to use a 3/8 gun, 17mm socket. Let's see if this bolt comes free. If it does, great. If not, we're going to have to heat it up. Beautiful. So now the actual spindle's spinning inside that link, so I'm going to have to get a pair of locking pliers and lock it on. Now I'm going to take my locking pliers, bring them inside where that spindle sits, and lock them down. If you have a pair of locking pliers with this little hex Allen on the end, this is what it's for. Now you don't have to squeeze as hard as you can to hurt your hands. Once it's locked on there, you snug it up by turning this. Let's see if we got it tight enough. Break this free. Perfect. Now to reverse it, don't hurt your knuckles or hand. Just put your Allen head back in there, in that locking plier, and loosen it up. Now we can take that link, pull it out, slide it out. Now we're going to take our new link, and by looking at this, I see two things. I see that this has a nice hex on it, so I'm going to go take a wrench and see what size that is before I install it. And the same with the bottom stud here. Once this is in, it shouldn't really spin, but it's nice to have a nice hold on it so it doesn't put any strain on this joint part of it. I'm going to dismount the actual mounting hardware in the bottom bushing, just like that. And I'm going to slide that down through. I'm just going to loosely put on the bottom hardware. So bushing first, washer, then lock nut. So then we'll take the nut, start it by hand, just enough so that it doesn't fall down. And now, in order to get that there, you could undo the other side if you're doing sway bar links in pairs, which I recommend. If not, then what I would do here is I'm going to push this down like that. Let's see if I can line it up. Get it started just like that. Put the nut on. Now this inner was 18mm. So I'm going to take an 18mm wrench and lock it in there. And the new nut is an 18mm. So let's get our gun set up with an 18mm. We'll slide this in. 18mm wrench on there. Okay, we're bottomed out. Now we'll snug the bottom, and then we'll get our torque specs and tighten it up. The new nut is a 15mm socket. I'm going to put a deep in there just in case that stud comes out. And that hex on that body is a 16mm wrench. So we're just going to snug it up. Perfect. You never want this rubber bushing to go over, and that's way too tight, and we don't want it to be under. So flush with the washer is the way to go. And now we're going to get the torque specs and tighten that top nut. 17mm socket, and the bottom stud on that link is 22 foot-pounds, the nut. Okay, that's 22 foot-pounds. Once this control arm's pushed up with the wheel and the weight on it, that bushing should space out to the proper spacing. So with that 18mm socket and extension, we're going to turn our torque wrench up to 55 foot-pounds. 18mm wrench, and hold the back of that stud. Make sure it doesn't spin. There we go. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.